It's a vision of the future. Connecting Canada from coast to coast to coast. Driving trade. Enhancing communities. Uniting North and South. The time is now for Canada's Northern Corridor. We are envisioning Canada's next great infrastructure project. 4 years ago at the University of Calgary's School of Public Policy, in partnership with CIRANO, a Quebec-based policy research network, we embarked on a journey to develop and promote the creation of the Northern Corridor.
The Northern Corridor is a concept for a multi-modal transportation corridor, somewhere between a couple of kilometers wide up to 10 kilometers wide, that goes right across Canada's north and near north.
What the corridor does is set aside the land for the potential infrastructure. So that could be anything from rail, roads, pipeline, transmission lines, and telecommunications.
Following in the tradition of Canada's greatest infrastructure projects of the past, the corridor will transform the Canadian economy, particularly in the north.
What we'll see is established right-of-way where then companies can go and say, all right, I'd like to build in this right-of-way, and it's pre-approved, so that'll mean the regulatory process is shorter, and we'll have a much better sense of the environmental impacts as well as the economic benefits.
Envisioned to run approximately 7,000 kilometers through mid and northern Canada, the corridor will connect isolated communities, bringing them much-needed services and prosperity.
This project will help Indigenous groups and Indigenous communities in Northern Canada by increasing their quality of life through two channels. The first is reducing the cost of consumer goods and reducing the cost of living in the north. Starting in the north, sort of Tuktoyaktuk, coming down the Mackenzie Valley in the Northwest Territories, branch lines obviously into the northern BC, Prince Rupert, across into northern Alberta, northern Saskatchewan, Manitoba, up to Churchill, Ring of Fire, across Ontario, northern Ontario, into Quebec, and then out through the Maritimes. And so really linking all three oceans with ports and linking them to important landlocked regions where we have good economic potential, mining, or whether that's agriculture, or whether, like I said, that's services.
The corridor will provide the infrastructure for increased trade opportunities, both within Canada and with other countries.
There are costs to delaying. We have Canada signing new free trade agreements, and if we want to take the maximum advantage of our new free trade agreements, we also need the infrastructure to support our exports.
As a result of the Northern Corridor, we're looking at GDP gains that are definitely in the billions of dollars, so these are pretty significant in Canada's north.
Development of the corridor means a stronger Canada, working together to build a plan that will benefit the entire country. It will have a net positive effect on the environment, and the concept has already been endorsed by the Canadian government.
We're going to minimize the environmental impacts because it's a set-aside right-of-way rather than all of these one-off projects where we have environmental assessment after environmental assessment. We think that the affected communities, including Indigenous communities, will have a lot more control.
The Senate's been very supportive of the concept. They've endorsed the idea, and actually just recently at the end of 2017, the Government of Canada has endorsed that Senate report.
That's why we're so excited about this, because the potential for Canada is fantastic. The future is now.